Hi there, my name is Matthew, and in this series I plan to help explain and visualise some concepts from change ringing. In this first video, we're going to start off simple and explore the structure of a method. This is a method known as plain bob doubles, one of the first methods you will learn. Each number in this visualisation represents that bell ringing, and the method can be read from left to right, top to bottom. Certain numbers are replaced with lines to better visualise how that bell moves between rows, with each colour representing a different bell. All methods start with rounds, so we can tell that the red line represents the treble and the green line represents the 3. A couple of important things to note are that the method starts and ends with rounds, there are no repeated rows, and between each row every bell can only move a maximum of one position. For example, from this row the 4 could go left, go right, or stay in the same place. It could not move to seconds place. This also means that here, if the 4 goes left, the 3 must go right to fill the hole created. A method is split into sections called leads, with each lead being distinguished by a horizontal line known as a rule-off. The row below a rule-off is known as the lead head, and the row above is known as the lead end. A change represents how the bells change between two rows, and so this change is known as the lead end change, and occurs whenever the treble is leading. Something very important to note is that the pattern that the bells make within each lead is identical. If we ignore the bell numbers and just use lines to show the path each bell takes, and then overlay each lead, you can see that they are all the same. This sort of visualization is known as the grid view, and it shows the exact same information as in the normal view, just in a more condensed form. You can see from this grid view that for the majority of each lead, the bells are following a simple pattern of hunting out to the back by moving right each time, lying by staying in that position for 2 rows, and then hunting into the front to lead. If we continue this pattern, you can see that we get back to rounds at the next row. However, in plain bob doubles, we do something different and instead have 1 bell make seconds, 2 bells dodge, and 1 bell make 4 blows at the back. So after our first lead, our bells are in this order. Let's explore what each of these terms mean, as these patterns are very common throughout all change ringing. Making seconds involves doing something called making a place, where your bell stays in the same position during a change. A place could be in any position, and after a place you could go in either direction. In this case, we come back to the front to lead again. Dodging involves your bell following this pattern. For example, here the 5 follows the pattern of seconds, thirds, fourths, thirds, fourths, fifths. We call this dodging up, as the overall direction we are going is up to the back. In this context, up and out mean the same thing. Because of how bells move, there must always be another bell dodging with us in the opposite direction whenever we do a dodge, and in this context it is the 2 dodging down. This is very useful when you are dodging, as you can keep an eye on who you are dodging with. Finally, the 4 does 4 blows behind, where they stay at the back for 4 blows instead of 2. After the first lead, we can see that the bells are in this order, with this row being the lead head of the next lead. Putting the leads next to each other, notice how where the first lead head started with rounds, the second lead starts with this different row. Note that when laying a method out like this, these 2 rows are the same, to make it simpler to visualise the lead end change. Let's just focus on a single bell here. In its first lead, the 5 follows this pattern, dodging 3, 4 up. Now at this lead head, it is in thirds place. We know that in each lead, the bells follow the same pattern, and so it must now follow the path that the 3 followed in the first lead. This means that after a bell follows the pattern 5 does in the first lead, it will follow the pattern that 3 did in the first lead in the next lead. This is more commonly put that after being 5th place bell, you will be 3rd place bell. Now continuing this pattern, after being 3rd place bell, you will be 2nd place bell, then 4th place bell, and finally back to 5th place bell where we started, putting us back in rounds. If the conductor tells you that you are now 4th place bell, you know exactly where you are, 4th place hunting in, and what you are doing next, 4 blows behind. In the normal view of a method, place bells for the highlighted bell are often shown to the right of each lead head. Let's look at a different way to visualise this, known as the circle of work. This is the work each bell is doing at the first lead. I've put it in this order such that to see what work each bell is doing next, we can just rotate the bells around. You can see that after 4 rotations we are back to where we started, and so we get back to rounds. The number of rotations required to get back to rounds is where we get the number of leads from. Looking further into how this rotation trick works, after the first lead we have shuffled the bells around in a very specific way to get to the next lead head. Since we know that the pattern the bells take is the same between every lead, we know that to get to the next lead head we can just apply this exact same shuffle. This forms a cycle of which place bell each bell is in, and since the length of the cycle is 4, after applying the permutation 4 times we get back to rounds. Notice how there is one bell that we haven't mentioned yet. The treble stays in the same place after each lead, and so no other bell can start doing its work, and the treble can't start doing any other bell's work. If a bell follows the same path each lead, it is known as the hunt bell, and this is what makes the treble so simple to ring. If instead we had a method where there are no hunt bells, we would have a method with 5 leads and 5 different pieces of work to learn. This is because the circle of work would have 5 places instead of 4. Conversely, if we had 2 hunt bells, we would only have 3 leads, as there are only 3 bells which can rotate their work. That's all I wanted to cover in this video. In the next one I plan to cover how calls work. If you found this video useful, please do share it with others, and have a lovely day.